Hello students, in today's session we'll discuss important questions regarding C++ in exam point of view. So when it comes to the turn of C++, the very first question we can talk about is the OOP concept. C++ is of course partially it is object oriented and partially it is structured programming language, that is procedure oriented. So what are the different object oriented programming concepts? You need to discuss about that, like encapsulation or polymorphism, inheritance, classes, objects, etc., etc. Then comes what are the different operators used in C++. We have seen already in C language what are the different operators we have, like you may have arithmetic operator, relational operator, logical operator, conditional operator, assignment operator, unary operator and bitwise operator. The most commonly used operators are in essay questions you will be asked about arithmetic operator, relational operator and logical operator. You may be asked to write about two or only one also. Whenever you are asked to do that, you need to write the concern program for that. That is, you have to give it with a suitable example, explain it with a suitable example. Then in short questions you may see conditional operator and assignment operator also, right? So these are about the different operators you have. Whenever you have to explain any concept in programming language, you must explain it using an example program, then only it is considered as a complete answer. Otherwise, if you are simply writing theory and you are leaving it like that, it doesn't complete the answer, it doesn't complete the explanation there, right? Coming to the next one is, what is structured programming and what is object-oriented programming? Like C comes under structured programming, for example, or Java, C++, these come under object-oriented programming. Like in structured programming, we say that it is top-down approach, whereas that side we say it is a bottom-up approach, or it is a function-oriented, or it is objects-oriented. So there are certain differences between it. Partition the page and explain them in detail so that it will be clear for the examiner to verify. Fine. Coming to the next one is, what are the different control statements? As you already know what are the different control statements, here we talk about branching statements, looping statements and jumping statements. Under branching statements, of course branching statements are nothing but they are decision making statements, where statements like if else, switch, etc. will be used there. So I need not discuss much about it because you are already aware of it. What is it? Fine. Coming to looping statements, for loop, while loop, do while loop comes here. And coming to jumping statements, you have go to or continue, break. These kind of statements come there. Next one is, in short questions you may see this state and behavior of an object, like what is the name you are giving, what is its state, how is it behaving, what are the data or members in it, etc. So you have 3 points there, compulsory points. So you need to write about them. This question, that is state, identity and behavior of an object, you can see that in short questions. Coming to next one is, what is a function and what are the types of functions? A function is nothing but set of code which is written for complete for doing a particular task, right? And we have different types of functions. You have elements of functions. You need to discuss about that also, like what are the elements of functions? For example, function declaration, function call and function definition. Then you have types of functions like function with no argument, no return value, with argument, no return value, and etc. You have some different types of functions. You need to talk about, write about it along with example. It is must with syntaxes, and examples are compulsory because these questions will be seen in essay questions, not in short questions, right? Coming to next one is, what is constructor and what are the types of constructor? Of course, constructor is a special function whose name is same as the class name, which doesn't have any return value, right? And what is the main purpose of a constructor? It is used to initialize the members of the class, right? And it gets automatically initialized. It initializes when the object is created. So you have many points about it. You have some points on it. So you'll be writing that. Then coming to types of constructors also, you'll be writing like a default constructor, parameterized constructor and copy constructor, and explain each and every one in detail along with programs. Next is inline functions. These functions, they what is inline function you have to write? Like these functions are, they expand themselves in that line only when they are called. So that in detail you have to write, and you need to write the program also for it. Next one is what is constructor overloading. As we have seen types of constructors, that is a different thing. Here when you have parameters with the constructor, or you are writing some constructors, you are using some parameters with it. So depending on the arguments you are taking, depending on the combination of arguments you are using, the constructor will be acting there. So constructor overloading or function overloading, both of them are same. Their function here, it is constructor. So what is it? Go through it once, and you need to write along with programs also here. Next one is, how do you define a class? How do you define member functions? Of course, how do you define a class? By using the keyword class followed by a class name. Within the opening and closing braces, you will be writing the data members and member functions there, right? Then you may define the class within the you may define the member functions within the class or outside the class also. You have different process for both of them. If you are defining it inside the class, you need not follow anything. Directly you will be writing the body of that function. Whereas if you are writing it outside the class, you need to follow something like return type followed by name of the class, scope resolution operator followed by name of the function, then comes the body of the function. Once go through it and give a suitable example there. Next one is what are friend functions and friend classes. Then you have operator overloading and function overloading. We discussed about it in previous sessions. Once go through that one also. So operator overloading, in operator overloading also we discussed about unary operator overloading and binary operator overloading also. Once you go through that one, then comes function overloading. Of course, this point is also pretty well explained in my previous videos. Once please go through if you have any doubt regarding that. Next one is define inheritance. What are the types of inheritance? Explain with suitable examples. So we need to define what exactly is inheritance. Like you are inheriting the qualities of the parent class to child class, or your it is nothing but a concept of reusability. That's what you are supposed to discuss there, right? Then you talk about what are the types of inheritance, like single inheritance, multiple, multi-level, and so on. Whatever types of inheritance are there, you please make a diagrammatic representation there, and up to where it is possible, you please write programs also for the same. Like for single inheritance, write a program. Multiple, write a program, like that. So up to where you are okay, you write the program for that, so that it will be giving a completeness to your answer. Then what are the access specifiers, right? What are the access specifiers we have, like private, public, and protected? How are they working when they are inherited from base class to derived class? So all that, even this also we made a video in the previous sessions. Please go through that one. So this is also one of the important questions you have, and you can see this one in essay questions only. Now coming to what are virtual classes, write with an example. So virtual classes, where did it come from? To solve the diamond problem, if you remember, to solve the diamond problem, these virtual classes have come, right? So once go through, and even that is also an important question. Coming to next one is what is polymorphism? Explain different types of polymorphism. Here polymorphism, as you know, having more than one form is polymorphism. Or here types of polymorphism, you talk about runtime polymorphism and compile time polymorphism. Under runtime polymorphism you have some, under compile time polymorphism you have some. So once you go through that, explain in detail. Coming to next one is what are virtual functions and pure virtual functions. Coming to virtual functions are the functions which are used to access or invoke the derived class function using the base class pointer. That is about virtual function. If possible, write it with the program. And coming to this pure virtual function, these are the virtual functions which do not have any definition, right? Coming to next one is write about abstract classes. So abstract classes are the classes which have at least one pure virtual function in it. Give an example for the same. Then comes what are the formatted and unformatted input output operations. Then what is write about manipulators like set W, set fill, etc. So you need to discuss about that one. Coming to next one is explain exception handling with an example. What is rethrow? So exception handling, what is that? It is an unexpected error which occurs at runtime. You know what is a program you need to write. Okay, so here you need to talk about try block, catch block, and throw block and all. Then you need to discuss about what is rethrow. Then you have data structure. What is a data structure? It is nothing but organizing your data in such a way that it can be accessed or used in an efficient way. Like you may be having certain operations like you need to insert or delete or what we say sort, etc. So these kind of operations can be performed in a better way. If you wanted to do that, you need to organize your data in a well organized way, in a good way. So that way we are calling them as data structures here, right? And you will be having a better definition in the books. So once go through that, I just gave you an overview of it. Then comes what is a stack. Write a program for the same. So what is a stack? Stack is a data structure where insertions and deletions will be taking place from one end only, right? And that end we are calling it as top. And operations performed on a stack. What are the operations performed? Push, pop, or you can find out whether it is empty, it is full, and these are the operations we perform on it. So show this implementation using a program there, right? Coming to next one is linked list. In a linked list, of course, it is a what we say linear data structure only, but all the elements are not stored in a continuous memory locations. They are scattered throughout the memory, and each element will be having the address of the next element. That means using pointers will be pointing to the next element. So here also you can insert some element, you can delete some elements, you can find out where some element is, or you can traverse through the list, etc. So all these are the different operations you can perform on a linked list. So explain that one also using an example program or using a simple example if you can show it in a diagrammatic way, right? Coming to next one is define queue, and what are the write a program to implement operations of a queue, right? So what is a queue? A queue is again a data structure where the insertions and deletions are done from different ends. Like insertions are done from the rear end and deletions are done from the front end, right? And this is said to be FIFO, first in first out, last in last out, and stack is said to be first in last out or last in first out. Then what are the what we say operations you perform on it? Like you can insert an element, you can delete an element, or what we say you can find an element, right? You can get the front element, etc. So all these are the different operations you can perform on a queue. Show this in a program by implementing all these different operations. So regarding your examination, so this is pretty much enough if you are in what we say, if you are preparing for C++ examination, theory examination. These questions will be helpful for you to prepare for your examinations. Hope they would be helpful for you. Thank you.